Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dared Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're going to be doing another outfit guide. Today's is another historical one and we're going to be doing John Wesley Hardin. Arguably the most famous outlaw from the Old West, or at least he should be the most famous, as he's pretty much, as far as I'm aware of, the one that killed the most people. Quite the killer, this guy. So we're going to be doing it like we always do. We're going to be doing a historical analysis, building an outfit based on a specific photograph, and imitating his guns and anything else that we can do as accurately as possible. So before we dive on into the customization, let's just start it off with a little bit of historical background information about this very famous individual. John Wesley Hardin was a notorious Old West outlaw and gunslinger hailing from America. He led a life of gunslinging, dueling, gambling, and drinking. He was the son of James Hardin, a Methodist preacher, who had named him after John Wesley, the founder of Methodism. Hardin had a quick temper, which often got him into trouble. The American Civil War had a powerful impact on him, and he developed a strong hatred for freed slaves. Hardin soon earned the reputation of being one of the Wild West's most dangerous killers. He killed his first victim when he was 15. After that, he added a long string of shootouts and cold-blooded kills to his credit. He traveled throughout Texas, evading authorities and killing people. He is believed to have killed more than 30 victims before he even turned 23. When he was captured and sent to prison, he studied law and theological literature. He passed the bar exam after being released from prison. He was admitted to the Texas bar, in which he practiced law. However, he soon went back to his old ways and was murdered in a gambling saloon. John Wesley Hardin was one of the most notorious and dangerous killers of the Old West, and he was known for wildly exaggerating and making up stories about his own life. Though Hardin had killed over 30 people, he had a reputation of being a gentleman among those who knew him. He claimed that he never killed anyone who didn't need killing. John Wesley Hardin was married in February 29, 1872, and had 3 children with his wife, Jane Bowen. Of course, his wife would die while he was serving his sentence in Huntsville Prison, and on January 9th, 1895, after he had been released, he would then marry a 15-year-old girl named Callie Lewis, who would leave him shortly thereafter. And John Wesley Hardin's life was ended when he was shot and killed by police officer John Selman in a saloon in El Paso on August 19, 1895. Alright, so the thing about John Wesley Hardin is he was operating in the West for quite some time, and so has a number of guns associated with him. So I'll just show you each of them that I've been able to find that are verified to have been owned by him, and we'll go through them all one at a time, ending with arguably the most famous one. So the first one we're going to be taking a look at here is he actually had a first model Russian. So Smith & Wesson, it's not the Schofield, it's the other variant. So you'll have the two variants that most people refer to as the Schofield variant and the Russian variant. They're basically the same gun, they just look slightly different. He had a first model Russian, serial number 23574, and it looked basically like this. It was fully nickel plated all the way around, no engravings, no carving, and had ivory grips. And some people say that at the same time he had a matched set of these. Not totally matched, they were both similar serial number, like from around the same time period, but one looked like this, was all nickel plated with a ivory grip, and the other one was all dark blued steel with a kind of reddish wood grip. So if you wanted to imitate that, I'd do the ironwood grips, mesquite finish, and all blued steel. Alright, so the next gun we're going to be taking a look at is one from his earlier career, and this would be a 1851 Navy, a Colt 1851 Navy that was associated with John Wesley Hardin. Like I said, this one is also up there for being confirmed to have been owned by him, and it looked basically just like this, which is a pretty stock look for the Navy from the time. So we're going to be using the ironwood grips with the mahogany finish to give it a nice dark look, no carvings, no engravings, and then we're going to be making the barrel, cylinder, frame, hammer, and trigger all brown steel, and the trigger guard brass. So like I said, this one is one that is pretty well known for his early time as a, I guess, outlaw. So if you wanted to use the Navy for a John Wesley Hardin outfit, this is the way to look. Unfortunately, only one of these. I wasn't able to find any evidence that he ever used 2 navies at the same time. The next one we're going to be looking at is his Colt Single Action Army. So again, we have another confirmed gun that he was proven to have used and owned for quite some time, and that is a Colt Single Action Army revolver like this. He actually paired this one with a Smith & Wesson Double Action Frontier revolver for some time, but he used this one for a good period of time. So the basic way to customize this is going to look real stock, like most of them would look from the time. No carvings, no engraving, short barrel, and then all black and steel. Now if you look at his that's in the museum right now, it looks a little bit more wore down, so the brown steel is probably a little bit closer to what it looks like now. But given that it wasn't worn down when he used it, you know, the black and steel's probably closer. Either way, I mean, I think I like the way the brown steel looks better. But either way, this is going to be pretty close to the Colt single action Army revolver associated with John Wesley Hardin. So the final gun we're going to be looking at, we don't have a perfect replica for in the game. So basically, what it is, what he's most famously associated for, at least most historians would agree that this is probably the gun that he is most well known for, is a Colt 1877 Thunderer. So basically, the Colt 1877 was a double action revolver manufactured by Colt's Patent Firearms from January 1877 to 1909. A total of 166,000 of these were made. The model 1877 was offered in 3 calibers, which lent them 3 unofficial names: the Lightning, the Thunderer, and the Rainmaker. The principal difference between the models was the cartridge in which they were chambered. The Lightning being chambered in 38 long Colt, the Thunderer in 41 long Colt, and both models had a 6-round ammunition capacity. And then there was also an earlier model that was chambered in 32 long Colt. That was known as the Rainmaker. That one was by far the least common of these 3. So basically, it was designed by the same people that made the Colt single action Army, but it was just modified to make it a double action revolver. So it could be fired in either mode, which is what made John Wesley Hardin like it so much, because it just offered a lot more versatility and obviously increased the speed at which it could be fired. It was offered in 2 grip configurations: the standard one that looks a lot like I have it on here, which is basically the same as the single action Army, and then what's known as the quick draw grip, which was more curved and went down on the bottom. Looks a lot like the gun that is used in the movie Tombstone by Doc Holliday, because Doc Holliday also was known to use a Colt single action Army in one hand, and in the other hand, or just, you know, not at the same time, but he carried 2. He also carried an 1877. He carried the Lightning variant though. So this is the closest we can come to that in the game. It's a Cattleman revolver, short barrel, all nickel plated, ornamental inlay with silver inlay in it, pearl grip, and the rest of it being nickel plated. It looks pretty dang close to it. It doesn't perform like it because this is a single action revolver, and the Thunderer or Lightning, you know, the M1877, was a double action revolver. Unfortunately, the double action revolver we have available in the game does not come with the option for a pearl grip. Plus, it looks totally different than the M1877 anyway, because they're totally different guns. If you want to imitate the appearance, then this way to modify the Cattleman revolver is definitely the closest you can come to John Wesley Hardin's most famous revolver. Alright, and so here is our John Wesley Hardin outfit. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty dang close. I think it's, I mean, this is the best I could come up with. As far as appearance goes, you can't really see because I'm wearing the Cayuga hat, but I have a slightly longer haircut, and I went with black hair because he had real dark hair. You can see that in the pictures. It's either real dark brown or black. And then there aren't a lot of great options for facial hair, but he had a pretty thin, small mustache for a good part of his career, and in the picture that I based this off of, so I went with the private mustache and I did that black. It's not great, but it's as close as we can come, because he didn't have as thick of a mustache as all the other mustache options. But let's just go through the outfit one item at a time now. So I ended up going with this light variant of the Cayuga hat. It's not perfect, but it's, I think, the closest we could come to the hat that he's wearing in the photograph. He's definitely wearing a very wide-brimmed Stetson style hat. Of course, it doesn't curve down in the front like the Cayuga hat, and the top is crimped just a little bit differently. As far as the color and size goes, I think the Cayuga hat's the closest. I considered a Bolero hat probably the next best option, but the shape is different and it looks a little bit more Mexican, so it doesn't really fit the look that he has in the picture quite as well. So for the coat, I decided to go with the black roller jacket, and I think it matches the one he's wearing in the picture pretty dang well. I mean, the one he's wearing in the picture might be just a little bit longer, but this one is about the right color, sits about the right place, has the nice wide lapels like the one he's wearing in the picture, so that's why I picked it. I considered the Antoine jacket. There's a black variant of that, but the lapels are thinner and it sits a little bit differently, so I think the roller jacket just works quite a bit better. Then for the vest, I decided to go with the black Lancer vest, and I did it mostly just because, well, I mean, so the one he's wearing in the picture is cloth. It's not leather, so that's really the only difference here. Other than that, this vest matches pretty well. It's clearly at least very dark brown or blue or black, because the picture's obviously not in color, I can't tell, but I think this matches it pretty well. It goes to about the same height on his chest, so it has about the same opening for his neck. It has lapels in the picture, and so does this one, so I think it matches the best out of all the available options and looks pretty good in general. So the black Lancer vest is the way to go. There's the black striped traditional vest, might work, but I think it looks a little bit more dingy, and his didn't have stripes on it in the picture, or at least I'm pretty sure it doesn't, so that's why I chose not to go with that one. For the shirt, I decided to go with this white variant of the side collar shirt, because in the picture, you can see he's wearing a shirt that goes pretty high up. It doesn't seem to have like a collar like you would get from the traditional shirt or something like that. yet, and it's not a dress shirt at all. It appears to just be something that slides over, so I almost went with the Union suit, but the problem with that is that swept way too low on the neck, exposing a lot more of his skin than he has in the picture. So I think this white side collar shirt looks almost exactly like the one he's wearing in the picture. For the gun belt, I went with the black Gunslinger gun belt. He's not wearing one in the photograph that I based it off of, but he's wearing a black gun belt that looks a lot like this in some of the other photographs of him that I was able to find, or maybe they were just illustrations, but they looked pretty similar to this. Plus, it's a Gunslinger gun belt, and he was kind of a gunslinger. So that's why I went with that and the matching holster. I think it matches the outfit really well and matches the historical representations of him that I was able to find. For the pants, I went with the black clerk pants because the ones he's wearing in the photograph look clean and to be a pretty uniform appearance, so they don't look splotchy and dirty, but they also don't look super tight, and they have the regular kind of flat bottoms on them, so I didn't want to go with the Bandito pants, and I didn't want to go with the next best option was too baggy. So the Depot pants were ones that I considered, but I think those look too baggy. I don't think they look like the ones he wears in the picture. So yeah, I went with the black clerk pants. Then for the boots, I went with the kind of worn out black variant of the Warren Roper's boots, because he's wearing what appears to be really dark boots in the photograph, of course under his pants, so not Texas style, but they look a little worn down in the fronts, like there's some variation, so that's why I went with this variant. Otherwise, the clean black variant, it would work just fine, but I think these ones look more like he does in the photograph. And then I followed it up with the black worn out Gurdon spurs because they match the boots, and they just look right with the outfit. Honestly, I think it turned out pretty dang good. It looks almost exactly like he does in the photograph. Like I said, the mustache is a little wrong, the hat is a little wrong. The Bolero hat might be a better option, or I guess maybe if one of the bounty hunter hats had a light variant, maybe that one would be right. But honestly, out of what's available right now, I think the light Cayuga hat fits the best. But it does look like him. Like I said, if you compare it to the photograph, which I've got on screen, it looks basically the same. So I think this was definitely a really, really good representation of that outfit. And it's possible that the clothing he was wearing was dark gray or maybe blue or brown or something like that. I can't tell from the photograph, but the way that I see it, it looks like it's probably black. And if so, then this outfit matches pretty dang well. But that's actually where we're going to end the video today. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you're a fan of the Wild West and history and you like John Wesley Hardin and you really want to imitate him, oh boy, I died quick. I got shot a whole bunch there. Then I hope this video was very helpful for that, because honestly, I put a bunch of time and research into it like I always do, and I think it paid off because I think it turned out really well. So if you like this video, definitely leave a like rating, and you know, that way it'll help me out in the algorithm and show me that the video was good and that I'm doing a good job here. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, maybe suggestions for future people you'd like to see, or any notes you have about this outfit, or historical corrections just in case I did get something wrong, whether it was about the guns or about the character himself, definitely let me know down in the comment section, because again, that's going to help me out in the algorithm, and it's a great place to have a discussion with people that share similar interests. And lastly, if you haven't already and you like my content, definitely subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. That way you can stay up to date just in case I release any cool videos in the future that you want to see, and you'll be helping the channel grow. So with all that in mind, thanks a ton for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, but in any case, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.